Hello, everyone. How are you today? I'm Kelly Lee Sappenfield, and today we're going to talk about where is your energy going? What are you paying attention to? So, I'm Kelly Lee Sappenfield. I'm a fifth generation metaphysician, soul evolution coach, speaker, and author. And I want to talk today about where your attention is going. Is it going to those things that you don't like? Is it going to negative self talk? Is your attention focused on all the things you don't want? Like, I don't want to be overweight. I don't want to be financially struggling. I don't want this career. I don't want to be a part of this society anymore, this community anymore. And it's all about what you don't want. Or is your attention going to what you do want? I want financial freedom and what that means to you. I want good health and a healthy body so that I have the energy to do what I want to do, right? And the health in order to be able to do it. I want this career. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able, granted, we're in COVID, so it may not be today, but you want to be able to travel, right? We all, at least I do. I can't wait till we can travel again. I want a greater spiritual connection. I want to be happy. I want. You know, I am. But when we say, I don't want that, spirit doesn't hear the don't. They just hear your energy, where your attention's going to. And when we put our attention to those things we do not want, we manifest those things. We keep having those things. So if it's, I don't want diabetes, and you keep on saying, I don't want to have diabetes, I don't want to have diabetes, I don't like having diabetes, Spirit saying, diabetes, okay, we'll serve it up to you, right? But it's all in where our attention goes. And most of us do this totally unconsciously. We have no clue how often we're telling Spirit, we're telling our peeps, bring on more of what I don't want, instead of focusing on your wants. So I want you to just kind of think about, how often do I say I don't want something? How often do you say, you know, I am, and it's a negative, I am struggling financially. I have overwhelming bills. I have a disease in the name of the disease, right? I have to go to I have to go to this job, even though I hate this job. I have to do this, even though I hate doing this. You don't have to do anything. But how many times are we focusing our attention on all of those negatives? Energy goes where attention is. It doesn't go where we want it to go necessarily if our attention is just on what we don't want. So think about it. If you want to turn around your finances, start using the self-talk of someone who has the financial freedom you're seeking. And financial freedom doesn't necessarily mean the same thing to everybody else. To one person, financial freedom would be $5,000 a month. To another person, it could be $100,000 a month income. But you cannot sit there and complain about your bills and worry over your bills, because worry, as I've said before, and I'll always say, worry is a prayer of the things you do not want. It's taking all of your energy and broadcasting it to spirit saying, please give me more of this, because I'm going to sit here and worry about it and spend all this energy about everything I don't want. Where when we start focusing on all the things we do want, And we start with that self-talk and the words that we think, the words that we speak, the words that our vocabulary we use. It's all about that, because that's where our attention is, and that's where we're focusing our energy on. So I could say, I don't want to be in the middle of a pandemic and not be able to travel. Or I could say, I can't wait till I am able to travel, and it's kind of mediocre. And so Spirit's like, they don't really know if they want to travel or not. Or I can say, this is the next place I'm going. I'm going to get it all planned out. I'm going to know how I'm going to get there. I'm going to know where I'm going to stay. I'm going to know what I'm going to do, and I'm going to be living it as though it's already a reality. And before you know it, that's exactly where I'll be, and that's exactly what I'll be doing. That's the food I'll be eating. It's the activities I'll be doing. It's the way I'll feel about it. And I can get really involved and put all my attention and energy to what I want as though it's happening, and I'm actively manifesting it. Or I can say, you know what? Because of COVID, I can't travel. And so I'm going to sit here and be bummed out because I can't travel right now because of COVID. Instead of like, you know what? This may have changed my plans, but my plans are going to become even more amazing. I am going to have even a more amazing time when I am able to travel. I'm going to have greater connections. I'm going to meet phenomenal people that I wouldn't have met otherwise. And maybe I'm not going where I thought I was going to go. Maybe I'm going somewhere different. And that's because Spirit's directing me to go there instead of going over here where I thought maybe I was going to go. Right? And in the meantime, if you have to budget it because your finances, if you have a longer time to budget something, when you make that monthly down payment to yourself on that vacation, on that trip, on that holiday, it's not as great. So you're like, oh yeah, this is easy. I can do this. This is easy. Or you can maybe make it even a bigger and better trip than you would have been able to otherwise. Because maybe you could have just afforded a 3-star hotel if you went this summer or this fall. But a year from now, you can do the 5-star hotel. You can fly in business or first class. You can do all the things that you otherwise wouldn't normally be able to do. It's going to make your experience that much more better and that much more fun. So always look to focusing your attention and your energy on the positive. Stop focusing on the negatives. Because as soon as you say, oh my gosh, I have to sit down and pay my bills, guess what? Spirit's like, they want bills. They're really focused on that. They're really putting a lot of energy into bills. Let's give them more bills. I don't know about you, but I don't necessarily want more bills. So I'm not going to say, oh, I got to pay my bills. Or I'm not going to be, when a bill comes in the mail or the email, I'm not going to be like going, how am I going to pay this, right? So when we focus instead on the gratitude, you know what? I went to the chiropractor. I owe the chiropractor this amount of money. I am so grateful I could go to the chiropractor. And you pay the chiropractor in gratitude. And then Spirit's like, okay, let's make sure they have more money to go to the chiropractor, right? So whatever area of your life it is, your relationships, recreation and travel, spiritual connection, anything, career, finances, health, where is your attention going? Because that's where you're putting your energy. And that's what you're telling spirit you want more of. Excuse me, let me get a sip of water. My allergies are just like going bonkers right now. Anyway, and so I want clear sinuses. I like having clear sinuses, right? Where our attention goes, that's our energy. That's what we're manifesting. I cannot repeat it enough because most people, they do really good for a couple of days and then they start backsliding because whatever it is that they were so focused that they didn't want shows itself. And you know why it shows itself? And why, especially for the first 6 weeks when you're trying to change a paradigm, it keeps showing itself? Because that subconscious paradigm that's keeping you where you are in that situation is going to test you. Do you really want me gone? Do you really want to change this paradigm? Are you serious about this? And it's going to test you and test you and test you and test you. And that's so that you grow. That's so you evolve. That's so you move past that. That's so you reprogram your subconscious to what you do want as opposed to what you don't want. And a lot of those unconscious paradigms were put there when we were little kids at no behest. No one asked our opinion about it. They just did it because maybe your parents would fight about money. Or maybe your dad worked in a job he absolutely hated and he had to go to work, right? Because he had to put food on the table. And it was work, 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 work. It wasn't, I have a career. I get to wake up every day and do something I absolutely love. It was, I have to get up, I have to go to work. I absolutely hate what I'm doing, but I have no choice. I have to do this. And those unconscious paradigms get stuck. It's almost like being addicted to sugar. You know, they put sugar in everything anymore because it is exceedingly addictive. And so they want you to keep buying their product. So they're going to put sugar in it, even though you're looking at it like this is bread. It's not supposed to be a dessert bread. It's not cinnamon rolls. Why does it have sugar in it? Because they want you to keep buying it. That's your subconscious paradigm. It's going to stay there and it's going to stay active until you take the actions and put your attention and energy to changing it. Now, it sometimes is it not the easiest thing to do? Correct. It takes work. It takes action. The law of attraction actually has the word action in it. You have to act. And sometimes that act is writing your affirmation about what it is that you're manifesting and you're changing daily. Getting out a spiral, getting out a journal, whatever it is that you journal in and writing. I am so happy and grateful now that I am financially free and I can travel the world at my leisure, if that's what you want. But you have to write your affirmation in the present tense. I am happy, grateful now that there is a hand-brain connection. So the more times you write it, I'd say write it minimum 10 times a day. A lot of people say write it at least 100 times a day. And then every time spirit and your subconscious say, do you really want this? You can look at that journal and say, yes, I really want this. And I'm going to read what I wrote out loud at least 10 times to reaffirm to myself that this is what I really want. Every time you get that little unexpected bill in the mail and you're working on your finances, Or you get a test result from the doctor that says, oh, your A1C went up a little bit. You don't freak out, right? Nope. I am healthy and happy now, right? So where your attention goes is where your energy goes. And it's activating all the divine and universal laws to make sure that that is what you receive. Ask and you shall receive. Start asking what you really want and stop asking what you don't want. It's that simple and that hard because we are focused and programmed as a society to focus on the negatives, not to focus on the positives. We get, what's our news? How much time is spent on something positive in the news? And I'm not talking about TV news or just print news. I'm talking about Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. How many times do we see something that's negative and we're like, right? Or we buy into it because maybe it's not your political opinion, or maybe it's something that happened somewhere and you take on that energy because that's what sells. So, you know what? On my Facebook page, on my personal Facebook page, if you're constantly posting that type of stuff, I block you. I'll block you first for 30 days. And then when you come back into my feed, if you're still doing it, then I'll block you or I'll unfriend you because I don't need that negativity to come into my energy. So where is it that you're letting all this negativity from everything outside of you come in and telling you you shouldn't want the career of your dreams because that's hard? Or if you did it, then that would mean that I could do it. And I don't want to have those feelings of I should be doing it myself. So I'm going to talk you out of doing it for you. You have to learn to shut all that outside noise off and just laser focus on what it is that you want to be true to you, not at the expense of anybody else. It's not like I'm telling you to abandon your children and go out and live wild and free. It's not that at all. It's what do you really want? And then go for it. It's not saying you're abdicating all responsibilities as an adult. It's not saying, okay, I'm going to quit my job and I have no idea how I'm going to get money or pay bills and end up homeless in 3 months after they foreclose on your house. Sometimes it takes a while for things to manifest because it's going to take a while for you to be able to transition. If everything just came like that, then you would have no learning, you would have no growth, and you wouldn't be evolving. And that's why you're here. So these steps are not meant to hurt you. These steps are there to help you so that when you do get that you're wanting to manifest, it's even better than you could ever have imagined. So if you get off insulin and you're healthy and you have energy and your A1C and your blood sugar numbers are all great and back in normal range again, you can't even imagine if you're on the other side of that polarity right now dealing with diabetes, what that can even feel like, what that even means on a daily basis. You can imagine it and you want to imagine it and you want to feel those feelings as close as you possibly can. But at the same time, once it actually comes, it's so much better than you could have ever imagined. And it all starts with where your attention is going. So just pay attention. And if you're married, ask your spouse, hey, let's do this thing together. Every time you say you don't want something or go negative on something, I'm going to point it out to you, lovingly so, but I'm going to point it out to you just so that you notice what you're saying, your self-talk. And would you please do the same for me? And that way, you're lovingly, caringly lifting each other up and changing your relationship to actually become closer. Because when you have that trust and that confidence in that partnership, that I can say, oh, honey, cut you there. And they're like, did I really just say that? I had no clue I said that. Thank you for pointing that out. Oh my gosh, no, I do not. No, that's not what I meant, right? Because chances are there's going to be something, some area of your life that person that's your mirror, that you have no clue that your self-talk is negative about. There may be areas of your life, oh, okay, I know, I've got to work on this. But chances are there's areas that you have no clue. And so when we have that person that we love and we trust that can mirror for us, that really shows us that. And it shows us in a way that not only helps us, but helps them and then helps the relationship. And it could be a spouse, it could be a significant other, it could be a child, it could be a parent, it could be a best friend. It doesn't matter. It's just someone that you have that loving bond with that you know when they say, cut you again, that you're not going to get upset about and you're not going to feel like they're coming at you about it. And then change your vocabulary right then and there. And then start paying attention to that area of your life and how often you say things of things that you do not want. Because if we say, I don't want to be involved in this house of worship anymore, chances are you're going to stay right where you are. You're not going to leave. You're not going to get the spiritual connection you're seeking. And it has nothing to do with the house of worship. It has to do with it's not resonating with you any longer, but you keep saying, I want to stay, or saying you don't want to stay. So if something like that is happening, then you're like, I wonder what resonates with me. Listen, I want to go seeking. I want to read about this. I want to read about that. And I want to start educating myself to where I can find out where I do resonate. Because maybe from the time I was born until now, I'm in my 50s, that's all I've known. But I know I no longer resonate with it. And so let me go seeking to what I do resonate with. And yes, there may be pushback. Most people, until the last few decades, if you were born a Catholic, you were a Catholic, and you married a Catholic, and you had Catholic children. Same with Jewish, same with Muslims, same with Hindus, same with Buddhists. It didn't matter what house of worship it was. If that's what you were born into, that's what you were the rest of your life, and that's who your entire family was. It's not the case anymore. And it's not supposed to be the case anymore. Now we're supposed to seek. So you shall find what you resonate with. And yes, there may be family members that say, hey, wait, what are you doing? What are you talking about? We always been Baptist or we've always been Methodist or whatever it is, right? And you have to say, you're right. And if you resonate, you should stay here. But I'm going to start seeking. So really pay attention. Give yourself the rest of this month to just pay attention to your self-talk internally and externally. Gift yourself this month to do that and start paying attention to where your attention goes, so that, therefore where your energy is going. And it's like most things. Once you shine a light on it, it's easy to heal. But you got to shine the light on it so that you can acknowledge, okay, this old paradigm is not working for me anymore. Or this situation is not working for me anymore. And I'm going to actively seek out to change it. Now, if you feel like you don't have that person to mirror you, or you're wanting to talk to me about this further, I'm going to put in the comments a link, and you can get a free 30-minute soul session with me, and I can help mirror to you, and I can help you set out your pathway to changing whatever it is that you're looking to change in your life, in any area of your life. So click on the link and let's talk, because sometimes some of us don't have that person in our lives that we really trust, and we need someone else to be the mirror. And I'd be honored to be the mirror for you. Or sometimes we know, okay, this is areas of my life I want to change, but I need that guide, I need that help and that accountability to hold me to it so that it actually does manifest, instead of becoming like a New Year's resolution that by the time February rolls around, someone asks you what your New Year's resolution was, and you're like, let me think about that. I don't know if I can remember what I said. Or, oh yeah, I said I was going to lose weight again. Yeah, I say it every year. Well, you know what? A lot of this energy of this pandemic for us to stay home is for us to work on ourselves, for us to take note of what is no longer working and to change it, to change where our energy is going. Because as we rise up, as we evolve, we also bring those around us up. I hope this helped. I hope you have a fabulous evening, and I will talk to you soon. And in the meantime, expect miracles. Bye-bye.